The day started like any other Saturday morning, except this one carried a different kind of responsibility. My parents, Michael and Susan, were heading out of town to attend a wedding for one of my dad's cousins. It wasn't going to be an overnight trip, but they would be gone for most of the day and well into the evening. That meant, for the first time in a long time, they were leaving me in charge of the house and of my younger brother, Ryan. I was 15, just beginning to feel that tug between wanting independence and still being treated like a kid. Ryan, at 10 years old, was at that curious, energetic stage where he wanted to do everything at once, and sometimes his ideas weren't the safest or the cleanest. Normally, my parents kept a close eye on him, and I was more of the assistant than the person fully in charge. But today, the responsibility was mine. I remember my mom kneeling in front of me before they left, her brown eyes serious but kind. "Emily," she said, "you're in charge today. Make sure Ryan eats lunch, stays out of trouble, and that the house is still standing when we get back." Ryan giggled in the background, making a silly face. "Don't worry, Mom. I'll take care of Emily." I rolled my eyes but smiled. That was Ryan, always joking, always trying to flip the roles around. When the front door finally closed and I heard the sound of the car pulling out of the driveway, the house fell into an unusual kind of silence. It wasn't the heavy silence of being alone, it was the excited kind, the one that carries a sense of possibilities. Ryan turned to me, his eyes bright and mischievous. "So," he asked, "what are we gonna do? Just sit around? Watch TV?" At first, I considered just plopping onto the couch and scrolling through my phone while Ryan entertained himself. That would have been easy. But then I realized something. I didn't often get this kind of time with him, just the two of us, without parents or schedules or homework getting in the way. This could be a chance to make the day memorable instead of ordinary. I crossed my arms, pretending to think hard. No. Today, we're going to do something different. Something fun. Ryan tilted his head. "Like what?" I grinned. "Let's build the biggest, craziest blanket fort this house has ever seen." His face lit up like I had just told him we were going to Disneyland. "Yes, let's do it." And so we got to work. We pulled chairs from the kitchen, lined them up in the living room, and dragged every pillow we could find. We raided the closet for sheets and blankets, carefully tucking and clipping corners so they draped over the chairs and couches. Soon, the living room transformed into a massive structure of tunnels, little hideouts, and cozy corners. Ryan was the chief architect, crawling through spaces and making adjustments while I focused on making sure the whole thing didn't collapse. When it was finally done, we stood back and admired our work. Ryan clapped his hands. "This is the coolest fort ever. Can we live in it forever?" I laughed. "Maybe not forever, but at least for today." We brought in snacks, popcorn, juice boxes, and cookies and set them carefully inside the fort. I pulled my laptop into the largest room we had created, and we decided to watch a movie. But halfway through, Ryan paused the screen and said, "You know what? This is the best day ever. Like, seriously." His words hit me in a way I didn't expect. To me, it was just a blanket fort, a silly little project to pass the time. But to him, it was magic. It was adventure. And it made me realize how much these little moments mattered to him. After the movie, Ryan suggested we do something grown up. He had seen videos online of people baking cakes or brownies, and he wanted to try it himself. Normally, my mom would never let him handle that much in the kitchen without close supervision, but today, I figured we could give it a shot together. We chose brownies because the recipe looked simple enough. But as we started measuring flour and sugar, things quickly got messy. Flour puffed into the air like dust clouds, cocoa powder spilled onto the counter, and at one point Ryan accidentally cracked an egg a little too hard, sending shells into the bowl. We laughed so hard we had to pause just to catch our breath. Eventually, we managed to get the batter into the pan and into the oven. The kitchen looked like a disaster zone, but Ryan declared it a victory. While the brownies baked, we sat on the kitchen floor, backs against the cabinets, just talking. He told me about his friends at school, about how he wanted to try out for the soccer team, and about how sometimes he wished I would spend more time with him instead of always being busy with high school things. That last part made me stop. I hadn't realized how much he noticed, or how much it mattered to him. In that moment, I promised myself I would make more time. When the brownies came out, they were a little overcooked around the edges, but Ryan insisted they were the best brownies in the world. We carried them back to the fort and ate them with glasses of milk, pretending we were explorers who had discovered a treasure in the wilderness. As the sun started to set, the living room glowed with that warm orange light that makes everything feel cozy. Ryan leaned against me, tired but happy. "Thanks for today," he said softly. "It was really fun." I smiled and wrapped an arm around him. "Thanks for being my partner in crime." When our parents finally came home that night, the house was surprisingly clean, the fort still standing proudly in the living room, and Ryan full of stories to tell them. He bragged about the fort, about the brownies, and about how we had the best sibling day ever. My mom gave me a look, the kind that said she was proud without needing words. And as I went to bed that night, I realized something important. Responsibility isn't just about keeping someone safe or making sure chores get done. It's about creating moments that matter, about turning ordinary days into memories that last a lifetime. That day taught me that sometimes the best adventures don't require leaving home or spending money. They happen when you choose to be present, to laugh, to listen, and to care. And as I drifted off to sleep, I knew I would never forget the day I was left home alone with my younger brother and suggested we do something special, because it turned into one of the most heartwarming days of my life.